Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I have my update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. So I just did a refresh last month because I was just getting a little bit tired of the project and I wanted to introduce a new rule and a new way of rolling in shades. So I did that last month and it definitely helped re-inspire me with this project. So I'm super excited about these shades and the progress I've been making. So I will jump into my update, but before we get into it, if you would consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers, so if you would be willing, I'd be so thankful, and we can jump into the update. So my rules for rolling shades out, I have a few. So one would be to hit pan on the shade. 2 is to use it 10 or more times. Have it in the project for 2 or more months. And then my new rule, which was inspired by Emily Max's eyeshadow, Pan Those Eyeshadows project. She did a kind of revamp also. I forget exactly what she called it, but she had the rule where if she hits pan on another shade in the same palette from the shade you're working on, then you can roll it out. I hope that one makes sense. She definitely explains it a lot better than me, but those are my 4 ways to roll shades out, and I feel like those are going to help me really cycle through my collection. So I am working on 5 shades at a time, and I have those stacked up here, so we can go ahead and run through each of the shades I've been working on. So the first palette is my ColourPop Main Squeeze, and I've been working on Big Gulp. So that is this matte orangish shade over here, and I have reached for this one 3 times this past month, and these all rolled in last update, so they have only been in for 1 month each. I have really enjoyed using this shade. I was pretty excited to roll this palette in. I think this is a really good time of year to be working on these nice warm tone colors. And I have a few other oranges in my collection that I'm working on, so I've been able to incorporate this one into a few different looks, which you will see popping up on the screen while I talk. I really enjoy the formula of this one. It's super nice. I've mostly used it kind of as an outer corner / crease deepening shade, so this one has been really fun to work on. And of course it will be staying in since I haven't met any of my goals with it yet. I can guarantee this is going to be a 2-month shade and roll out. ColourPop mattes are kind of difficult to hit pan on, and I'm definitely not going to get there by the next update, but I am hoping for at least a good few more uses on this one to just keep increasing the number of uses I have on this shade and on this palette as a whole. Alright, my next palette up is my Rude Cosmetics Roaring 20s Neons palette, and I've been working on the shade See Me. So See Me is this shade down here, and you can see there is a little bit of disturbance starting to form in the pan, just the tiniest little bit of a dip. I have reached for this one 6 times this past month, and I'm really happy with that usage. I was going to try and get my 10 uses on this to be able to roll it out this update, but I quite honestly just forgot about doing that, so only 6 uses, so this one will be staying in since I haven't met any other goals yet, but I am excited to keep working on the shade. I think it's super pretty. I have really enjoyed incorporating it into different looks. I have been working on a couple other pink shades as well, so it's been fun to kind of mix those in together, and this is just a really nice quality shade, and I really like this palette as a whole as well. I do have an affiliate link and discount code with Rude Cosmetics if you are interested in checking anything out. The code is JJBeauty and it will give you 15% off, and I will always have that linked in my description box as well. I just really enjoy this palette. I enjoy the entire Roaring 20s collection from Rude Cosmetics, so I am excited to continue working on this one. I feel like out of all the shades that I could have gotten from this palette, this one is a little bit more on the safe, wearable side for me, so I am definitely excited to continue to work on this one. Alright, next up we have this cute little quad from Beautiful Shellz Cosmetics. This is their Peach Karma Chameleon quad. I also have a discount code and affiliate link with them. That will also be linked in the description box if you are interested in checking that out. I do make a little commission on each of these, but it is completely up to you if you would like to use them. Absolutely no pressure. So from this palette, I have been working on the very first shade. So here is what we are looking like. It is this shade right up here, and I have reached for this one 3 times. I've used this in combination with Big Gulp and a couple other shades that I have been working on in different projects. So just a few uses on this one. There's not any really noticeable difference in this shade, but it is super nice. I am not always the biggest fan of oranges. I like every color of eyeshadow, but orange is definitely one of my lesser favorites, but I do kind of like this one a little bit more. It's not pure orange. I feel like it has a little bit of a peachy or corally undertone to it, so it is really pretty. I use this kind of as an initial transition shade, and it's been fun to work on, and I've really enjoyed reaching into this palette a little bit more. It's not an absolute overused palette of mine, but I do think it's super cute. And this shade right here is absolutely stunning. I used it in a couple of the looks I created with this shade, so it's just gorgeous. So I am really happy to continue to work on this one as well. Alright, next up we have my I Heart Revolution Moana palette, and I have been working on Oceana. So that is this bluish shade over here, and I've only reached for this one twice, so it will be staying in, but the couple times I did reach for it, I did enjoy the looks that I created. Blue is definitely a color that intimidates me a little bit more than others, but I have been finding ways to incorporate it into my everyday looks. One of the looks I created this past month, I blended it in with brown and neutral shades in my outer corner, and that is definitely a big way I enjoy wearing blue eyeshadow, so that was super fun, and I think it just looked super pretty. So not too many uses on this one, but I have enjoyed reaching for it the couple of times, and of course this one will be staying in, so I will hopefully be able to get some more good uses on this one. Alright, then our last palette up is my Bella Cosmetics Lotus Love palette, and I have been working on Marvelous. So Marvelous is this matte pink shade over here, and I have reached for this one 4 times. There is a little bit of disturbance, but I don't think there is too much progress on this shade quite yet, but in the 4 uses that I was reaching for this one, I did manage to hit pan on the shade Purity, and according to my new rule, that does mean I get to roll this palette out, which is super exciting. I was really happy to get a small handful of uses on this shade, and I did hit a pan in this palette, not necessarily the shade I was focused on, but I was really excited to hit that pan. It is my first pan in here, so I will be rolling this palette out, which is super excited. I am super glad to have at least one rollout this round. As for this shade in particular, it was really nice to work on. That is one of my more reached for shades in this palette. I think it's super nice. It works as a nice crease shade for pink looks, and like I said, I've been working on a couple pinks within projects, so I've been able to create some really nice looks with a few of the pinks that I've been working on, and this one was really nice to reach for. So only one rollout this month, but I am really happy about that one, so I will be rolling in one new shade. So I switched the way I roll shades in a little bit. I don't want to reach for the same palettes over and over, even if I'm reaching for different shades. So I have a wheel on the Tiny Decisions app that has all of my palettes in my collection, and I have the ones blacked out that I have already pulled, so we won't get any repeating results here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll in our next new palette, Kylo Roco. I'm going to go grab that and we can randomize our shade. Alright, so here we have my Kylo Roco palette, and here are the shades in here. There are 16 different colors to be reaching for, so I'm going to randomize 1 through 16 on my Pretty Random app. We get shade number 2, which is the shade Courtship, so that is going to be a just super easy transition shade to reach for. I'm kind of happy I got a neutral shade from this palette. As much as I love the colorful shades in here, that one is just going to be a really easy everyday shade for me to reach for. So that is going to be our 5th shade for this next round. So these are the 5 palettes that I'm going to be working on for this next month. I will insert a picture of the color store I'm going to be working on. Not much has changed. We just rolled out one of the pink shades and rolled in the brown matte. But I am really excited to get some use on these shades, get more use on the ones that have been in, and get some new uses on the new shade. So let me know what you guys thought of this update, what you think of this project. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Let me know how you think I'm going to be able to do by the next update. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!